Hey everyone, welcome to the Echo Lens, the podcast where we view assistive technology through the eyes of lived experience. I'm your host, Kenisha, and each week and each episode, I should say, we explore how dignity, design, and innovation really intersect to empower blind and low vision communities. We're not just reviewing tech, we're reframing it. So, this is a space for truth telling, for honoring the voices that often go unheard, and for challenging the industry to do better. So, whether you're a developer, a user, or someone else who just simply believes in equity, you're in the right place. So, this is the Echo Lens. Let's take a closer look. Today on the podcast, we have Shawn Keen. Shawn is actually our community advisor here at Echo Vision Foundation. Shawn is a blind entrepreneur, advocate, and founder of AI for the Blind, which is a rapidly growing online community that has more than 15,000 members. And it's dedicated to empowering blind and low vision people through artificial intelligence, creativity, and connection. So Shawn has collaborated with leading companies such as Coursera, major universities, including Vanderbilt, and nonprofits like Lighthouse for the Blind in New Orleans to expand opportunities for independence, education, and innovation. We'll let Shawn tell a little bit more about his story, but after recovering from a stroke in 2022, Shawn really redirected all of his energy towards educating people about the power of AI and technology while weaving in storytelling and community. So he's been a podcast guest and many podcasts and been out here doing all the work for quite some time, and he really has a passion for helping organizations connect accessibility with real human impact. So Shawn, we are super excited to have you on the Echo Lens today. I found your Facebook group when I had my most recent huge vision loss that deemed me legally blind a couple of months ago, and I was looking for some support, and your group came up. So welcome to the podcast. How are you today?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we're super excited about it. And I got connected to the Echo Lens Foundation, and then I had saw that you were the community advisor and, really working towards bridging some of those, communications between your folks and our group too. But I would love if you could, share a little bit about your story and your connection to the blind and low vision community.
Sure. So my story is kind of interesting because I was born with glaucoma back in the 70s, and I had a little bit of vision growing up, and then I went off and did all this stuff, and really, I mean, the first part of my life, I like to think, ended January 11th, 2022, and that's kind of when a
Mm.
new version of my life started. As you mentioned, I did have a stroke in 2022, and it probably saved my life. It definitely changed my life. And about that same time was the same time that OpenAI released ChatGPT.
Yep.
For some reason, AI just really connected with me. It was just something I really enjoyed. And so from 2022 to 2024, I was just kind of playing with AI and learning how it worked, along with having a full-time job and having a life and everything else. So this group you found, AI for the Blind Club,
Yeah.
it was just something I made so I could post all the crazy stuff I was making with AI. Like, there was absolutely no plan behind it. There was no goal. There was no anything. And it's fun because it's a learning place. It's a way to learn how to use AI. It's a place to find like inspiration and creativity, and and a lot of people have gained a lot of knowledge and experience and maybe even strength from and That's great. That's awesome. It's expanding. It's going to expand in the next couple of years and really become something amazing. But it wasn't created for that reason at all.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I definitely see in the group when you're sharing some of the things that you're making and the tips and tricks on how we can, use AI to benefit us in our daily living, right? So blindness is a spectrum, and trying to get folks to understand that, because they're probably wondering, how are we using AI and all these tools and knowing what we're making and things like that. But can you tell me a little bit about, like, what is your vision? How is it perceived?
Sure. Sure, and like I said, I was born with glaucoma.
Mhm.
I had a little bit of vision growing up. I could see the grass from the sidewalk, and I could tell what color the sky was, but
Mhm.
never good enough for reading or describing what someone looked like. And blindness definitely is a spectrum, like a
Yes.
lot of things in life are. There's people like me that are completely blind with zero vision. I earned that in when I was about 18 or 19 years old, but honestly, it was so gradual that and I was already used to using a cane and reading braille and using talking devices that going blind for me wasn't that big of a deal.
Okay.
It is for other people. It is seriously a big deal for other people, and I don't want anybody to think that, "Oh, he's just saying it's simple." It's not. It's hard to
Yeah.
be blind. It's a challenge. There's a whole lot to it. But you're definitely right that you have the low vision spectrum, which is people that are just barely blind, kind of like you. And, and then you have people as it progresses to a
Mhm.
point where they have zero vision.
Mhm. Yeah, mine's on a good day, like 20 over 250 or 20 over 300 visual acuity, depending on how my day is.
That's a challenge. That's really
Yeah.
hard. And low vision folks really have a hard time with vision loss because you're right there in between, and people think, "Oh, she can see," and you're like,
Nope.
"Not really."
During the day, it's a little easier. At night, nothing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so and it depends on the day, right? I have good days and I have bad days, so it just depends. But yeah, just to that newly legally blind cusp of now trying to use some of this technology that you're talking about to learn. So I'd love to know a little bit about what type of assistive technology that you use and to get through your day on a regular basis.
Yeah, yeah, great. That's great. So I use mostly talking devices. Right
Okay.
now, I'm using a Windows laptop, and it has software on it that's called JAWS. And JAWS
Yes.
is a screen reader. What a screen reader does is it does what it sounds like. It just reads the screen to me and allows me to use the keyboard to navigate the computer and do everything I got to do. When you lose your vision, you also lose the ability to use the mouse. So
Yeah.
blind people don't use a mouse. They use the keyboard for everything from
Mhm.
clicking on things to opening files, writing and everything. So that's kind of the reason I think AI just really appeals to me is cuz I'm a computer nerd. I don't know
Yeah.
if I mentioned that.
Uh-huh.
That should be obvious.
Yeah, you don't say.
So AI is very text based. You can do everything with AI with text. So I think that's probably why, it interests me so much because I'm on a computer typing anyway, so
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah. I haven't used JAWS, but my assistive technology teacher is we're going to be starting Fusion soon.
Okay, good. Good. No, that's a good start. That's a good place to
Mhm.
be.
Yeah, so Fusion, for those out there who don't know, is similar to what Shawn just described under JAWS, but and also it has magnification for those like me who can make still see things if they're extremely large
Right.
and zoomed in. So some
Contrast.
Yes, contrast, I do everything in dark mode already, so things like that. Okay, I love that. How has your vision journey really influenced the way that you engage with the innovation that AI gives us?
And I think it just depends on the person. So for me,
Yeah.
I use a computer. I also use an iPhone. The access on the phone is a screen reader called VoiceOver.
Yes.
And so that's a little bit different from the computer. But using AI for me, I use it in two ways. I use it for information, like I want to read the mail, I want to use the microwave, I want to do things around the house, I want to do things that I need to be independent, identify clothing or
Yes.
travel independently. So that's one form of technology that blind people use. Smart glasses, apps, or things that will read to you. So that's one way I use AI. I use Be My Eyes.
I was gonna ask you what you use for that because folks are probably wondering, "Wait, you
They
can do
are
that on
they are
ChatGPT?"
if you want the best, if you want the most easiest way to use AI and give it a try, whether you're sighted or blind, go download the Be My Eyes app and take a picture and ask questions. That is essentially the most simple way to get into AI 100% for free. They love it when I do that because that really does get them a lot of new people, because people can sign up for Be My Eyes, whether they're blind or sighted. Sighted
Yeah.
people can sign up to be a volunteer. So why not?
Yes.
Let's promote it. So I use AI for the information side, the things I need to live an independent life, and the creative side. The creative side is making AI music or making AI images or using it to write a story or make a game or something. There's the sky is the limit when it comes to AI. And so those are the two areas for me that are most important is being able to make fun stuff, positive things that make you feel good, and being able to live my life.
Yeah, I love that, and yes, Be My Eyes, I have downloaded it recently. I haven't used it yet, but I've used Seeing AI where you
Mhm.
is it similar? Where you take the picture and it describes a little bit.
It
You
is.
know, it's a lot of information out there, so I'm taking it in lightly to try to learn because it can be a little overwhelming
But yeah.
when you go from having to not use it to have to use it. So, what do you think is one assistive technology tool besides AI that you really love? Like, what is a tool that besides AI that you are like, I have to use this or I
Gosh.
really love using this?
And really, when I was 10 years old is when I learned that I found the one thing in my life that was going to be the most impactful. And unfortunately, I didn't know it at the time. But what that was a computer. And
Mhm.
when I got introduced to a computer, if I'd only known how impactful that one device would be on my life, I would have done things a lot different.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, that's the simple part of it is that using technology. Technology is just something that no matter if I'm upset or sad or happy, it's one thing I've always been drawn to.
What is a tool that you wish was better?
And that's an interesting one because as blind folks, we have devices that are made for blind people, which we call them blind specific devices. So,
Yes.
an example of that might be something like a braille writer. A braille writer is a device that you use to type out braille. So, like a braille typewriter.
Mhm.
But then we have devices that are not made for blind people that maybe accidentally or by design, maybe they did decide to include blind people. Devices that are for mainstream folks to use. And that would be something like Meta Ray-Ban glasses or
I
the
was gonna
Meta
say
Oakley
smart
glasses.
glasses. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and so those are devices that are made for everybody, but do have features and by design, maybe, are that blind people can use them.
Yeah.
And that's cool because that means we can go to Best Buy or any a regular store like anyone else and buy that product, not have to order it from some particular place.
Mhm.
The professionals call that universal design, where you can take a product and make it to where anyone can use it, ver regardless of their, disability. And so I hope we get more devices like that. It's funny because I s I was looking at the questions and I saw this one and I was thinking, what am I gonna do for that? And so I asked for a list. I used AI and I asked for a list of suggestions or, ideas around it. And the first one was a AI, coffee mug.
What's Wait,
And
what's
you think,
that?
"Why? Why?" You're thinking, What's that about?" And the thing is that, it tells you as you're filling it up, it can talk to you, and it could also tell you the temperature of your beverage, coffee or whatever, and I'm thinking, most anybody would think that was cool, most anybody would love to have
Yeah.
something like that.
Wait, is that real?
No, it's not.
I wish it was.
I know, me too.
I know that they have the thing you can put on the edge of your cup, so when you pour
Yes,
something in there, right? Like, I'm getting one of those soon from my helpers because
a
my depth
liquid level indicator.
okay. My depth perception is awful, so I always miss.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's really interesting. I think a liquid coffee cup would be really cool. Do you use AI glasses?
I have a pair of the Meta, Ray-Ban glasses. I use them. I don't use them every day. Uh,
Mhm.
and technology you'll find varies with the individual. I mean, some people really need the technology, daily, and some people, we got multiple ways of doing things.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm hoping to get some soon to be able to use them when in some situations that I know I could be useful.
One thing they're really useful for is surprisingly not the AI stuff. I like wearing them and just, I'm sitting here typing and I say, "How do you spell?" You can ask it that, or give me 5 other words for whatever, or
I
there's
didn't even
all
think of
kinds of
that.
ways like that. Or getting messages, like responding to messages on your phone. That's really
Yeah.
nice to use 'em.
Yeah, I love that. And I heard, is it true or correct me, that the Be My Eyes app that you talked about a little bit earlier, you can use on the glasses, right?
It
And
does, it does.
okay.
It has a connection where you can say, "Connect to a Be My Eyes volunteer," and that will connect you to, the Be My Eyes app and also call a volunteer, where they're able to see through your glasses. And, gosh, back in the summer, me and my wife walked to the pool here at the apartments and used that to navigate the whole way.
Wow, that's really, really cool.
Mhm.
That's really awesome. So when you're thinking of new products that you want to try out, how do you evaluate whether or not that product fits your message that you want to give?
Um, I think what it comes down to is first, how accessible is a device? Does it
Mhm.
have buttons? Does it have a touch screen? Uh, how difficult is it going to be to use? And for me, it varies. I like the utility of things. Sometimes we lived in a house and we had a one of those push button door handles, where you can type in a code to unlock the door. That's
Mhm.
I like the usefulness of certain things. So usually the main important thing is it tactile? Is it something I could touch and reasonably figure out how to use, or does it talk?
Yeah, that's really cool. And it makes sense. Okay, so I want to go back to your Facebook group for a second, or your AI for the Blind group. We talked about how it started. I'm wondering what's going on in there now, or what's happening. I thought I saw a couple of changes coming soon. Is there anything that you can talk about?
So AI for the Blind's getting a website, and that's something that we've been working on for a little while. It's aiftb.com, and the idea is to move off of Facebook and have our own dedicated website that's
Mhm.
going to be like a learning place, a educational space to come and join and learn how to use AI, not just the informational side, but the creative side, how to make things with AI, how to be adventurous. And so that's something we're working on. In fact, we're having a meeting about that tomorrow.
Fun.
It's going to be a fully like inclusive like a full like almost like a full service kind of experience where there's going to be educational, there will be social, there'll be all kinds of good friends. Tony Gebhardt is a musician, a blind musician from Oregon, and he's already working on doing a multimedia experience, like a class. So think of like a classroom, a virtual classroom, and like I said, Tony's a musician. He's very talented, and he's going to do a thing on teaching people how to make AI music.
Oh, that's really neat.
Yeah, so there will be some interactiveness to that. There'll be all be fun and educational. So that's kind of like a teaser of what it could be like.
What is your hope for the next generation when it comes to assistive technology? Because, things are changing so fast. What we have today is going to be so far advanced in 5, 10 years, right? What is your hope for the next generation of assistive technology?
It's funny because a lot of people for a while now keep saying, in the future this is going to happen, and right now we're living the future.
We are,
Yeah,
yes.
we're in the future right now. So all of
Mhm.
the things that are being creative. I mean, I was just down in Austin, and the Waymo cars, the self-driving cars.
Yes,
We didn't get
yes.
to try it, but we're gonna do that. I mean, that's life-changing. All of the new AI stuff is life-changing, and not just for blind people. It's truly life-changing for everybody, the whole world.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to seeing what people create. And that's kind of one thing I've always said in my AI for the Blind group is that I'm curious to see what other people come up with. I've created some pretty cool stuff, and I'm sure there's things out there that other people are going to create. And then one last thing I'll include on this is that for a long time we've been using things like Siri and Alexa and other types of talking devices and stuff, and all of these gadgets, all of these apps and such use AI. We never knew it. So what's going to be really cool is to see what people come up with, to see what people create that may use AI, but you don't know it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's built in, it's a understood regular thing. I guess, yeah, we've had it a little longer than we think, and you say we're already, in the future. It's only gonna get better for this. I mean, we're not in the Jetsons future yet, but
Not yet.
but, one day we'll get there.
They say
Okay,
about
so
10 years.
yes. So what are some final thoughts that you would love to leave our Echovision Foundation audience with?
Search for the AI for the Blind Club on Facebook and join it. That's the best way to get connected with me and to get connected to see what's coming next. That's kind of become this thing is where I just say, just go join AI for the Blind Club, and you'll be around to find out what happens next.
Yeah. And where else on social media can folks find you?
Um, I'm pretty simple. I usually go by TX Blind as my handle on just about anywhere. But I mean, there's other social networks, YouTube, TX Blind. Um, Facebook's the only place where I'm just Shawn Keen.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely also put in our show notes how you can get to the Facebook group. So if anyone's interested, they'll be able to click on it there. But Shawn, today was such a wonderful conversation with you. I love having conversations like this with folks with lived experience to get other perspectives because we keep talking about how blindness is a spectrum and there's so many different caveats that go into that and so many different levels that go into that. So I just really appreciate you coming on and sharing some of that with us.
Sure, anytime, anytime. I love sharing the knowledge. That's just one thing I've always enjoyed is teaching other people how things work.
I love it. Well, thanks everyone for joining us on the Echo Lens, where we view assistive tech through eyes of lived experience. So, if today's conversation sparks something in you, you can share it, rate it, and keep the dialogue going. And to learn more about our beautiful project or to support our work, visit us at echovisionfoundation.org. So until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and keep seeing with love. Bye, everybody.